Welcome, Virgo, to your Clash of the Malefics 28-year cycle deep dive video for the Ascendant, the Sun, or the Moon across the 19th and 20th of April, depending on where you are. Mars, the planet of action in Aries, meets Saturn, the planet of restriction in Aries, for the first time in an exact conjunction since 1998. That's a full 28 years. In traditional astrology, Saturn is known as the greater malefic, can be unfortunate, whereas Mars can be the warrior, very much to do with aggression. When the two meet, it can create a lot of tension, but particularly in the sign of Aries, which can be impatient, which comes from Mars's energy, because Saturn in that zodiac sign is detrimented, it's in its fall. Saturn appreciates outcomes and responsibilities, not new beginnings and fresh energy, which is what Aries is about. But what will this mean for you, Virgo? I'm going to take you back briefly to 1998, share that event chart. Your ruler Mercury was in the mix, and it's in the mix this year too. What was going on in the world then, where we get a reflection of that now? Two very intriguing scenarios. I'm also going to give you the opportunity to download your Mars-Saturn conjunction workbook to help you negotiate this tricky influence. By the end of the video, you'll have a clear understanding of what you can expect around energy, work, relationships, and finances. I'm astrologer Patrick Arundel. A very warm welcome. If you've yet to subscribe to my channel, please do so now to help it to continue to thrive. But please also click or tap the bell notification symbol. So on the screen, Virgo, is your event chart. Now, Mars for you is in the eighth house, and Mars in the eighth house is very much about instant desire and gratification. We get that need for things to happen quickly with Mars in Aries, but the eighth house is more an echo of its rulership of Scorpio, so it can be very, very deep, can throw up issues to do with possessiveness, jealousy, and maybe control, but also to do with long-term finances. And Mars also can give us a lot of willpower and drive. Now, in that conjunction, which is almost exact with your ruler, if you are negotiating anything at the moment, you're going to be very single-minded indeed. If Saturn wasn't in the mix, you would articulate your position in a very powerful way. Also, Pluto, the planet of transformation, which is asking you to think about changes around your work, your structures that maybe have been in place for a long time, is in a sensationally positive link with Mercury and Mars. That can give you great powers of analysis, which you already possess, but they're going to be amped up. What's not to like? While Saturn innately slows and frustrates the need for Mars to take action quickly. And that's what can create eruptions of frustration. So if you are talking about a financial matter at the moment, be it in business, perhaps around shuffling your long-term resources in a different way, and it may be with someone else, shared resources, very eighth house, or you're talking to an advisor, dealing with taxation, or perhaps inheritance matters, not everything might go as you hope, and that could cause an awful lot of irritation if that's the case. And that's where the conjunction between Mars and Saturn can be quite testing. But it's an aspect that does have some qualities. People who have it natally have a fantastic ability to dig in and deal with very challenging situations, but have the tenacity and the strength of will to come through them. But generally, whatever you're wanting around desires at the moment could somehow or another seem slightly out of reach. Someone may not be collaborating. It can be very irritating indeed. Now, we've just had the new moon in the sign of Aries, And in a conjunction with Chiron, it's asking you to think about past hurts and upsets around intimacy, relationships, or even financial affairs and release them. So, as ever in astrology, we can get two competing energies at the same time. But I want to reassure you, just before I take you back to that previous chart, that the sun is on the cusp of moving into your fellow Earth sign of Taurus, where it would join up with Venus and Uranus. So freedom and perhaps liberation from something that's very heavy, tense, and difficult, maybe sooner than you think. Now let's just have a quick look back at 98. There's Mercury, happened to be in a retrograde at that time. Not quite so tight to Mars and Saturn, but it's there. The intriguing thing is the moon is also, as it is now, in Gemini, and the nodal axis is in the same two zodiac signs. It's just then the North Node was in your sign, not the South. Why? Well, the nodal axis takes 18.6 years to go around its return. Then you've got the reverse nodal axis at about, my maths is terrible, about 9.8 years. And you add those two together, and that's why we're at the halfway point and in reverse at the present time. But what was playing out then, Virgo? Well, we had the USSR, now known as the Russian Federation, was completely collapsing. But we also had a big a crisis in terms of the Asian stock market. Fast forwards to now, my belief is that the Federation of Russia, Russian Federation, that their economic system is fast deteriorating and maybe even could completely collapse. But also we have instability on the financial markets in general, partly because of what's going on in the Gulf. Now, I'm going to summarize those four areas of energy, work, relationships, and finances to get you through this event. But just know you can download that free Mars Conjunct Saturn workbook, which will tell you about the mythology, the astronomy, the astrology, but also the planetary implications. Please see below for more. But if you would like to order your personal horoscope, I've slashed the prices. You can now pay for one but get three. So the Life Roadmap report, which helps you to understand your journey so far and why patterns keep repeating themselves. You pay for that, but you get your 12 months transits for the year ahead, free, but also your draconic analysis. That will help you to understand the soul or karmic journey that you started as you entered this world. So pay for one, get three in total. I'm doing this because I know people are feeling the pinch, but also because I'm genuinely enthusiastic about people learning and working with astrology to make their life journey as best as possible. Now, if you've yet to watch your Uranus 84-year cycle video on the screen now, if you've yet to watch your Aries new moon video, that's on the screen. If you'd like to work with me one-to-one, please see my testimonials below. And if you have yet to sign up for your free daily written horoscope fired to your device each morning, where you can get your celestial pit stop, please see that below too. Now, to summarize, if you've got anything going on about a very close connection, emotional or business, which is challenging at the moment, this could be a little bit of a bumpy conjunction. There may be times when anger can come up from the depths of you that you may be surprised about, but particularly if you feel that someone's being controlling and not being very fair. And one of the reasons why you could be more outspoken at the moment is not just because the sun is about to move into your sector of liberty on the 20th, it's because Uranus, the planet of freedom, is on that 10th house cusp. It's going to be moving there on the 26th of April, and a whole new, much more outspoken part of your nature will start to come through over the next 7 years. Now, the moon, like it was all those years ago, right at the top of your chart, is in a very strong link with Pluto. If you need to dive deep within your very emotional depths, you can do it. You will find the resources. One of the things about Mars conjunct Saturn is that although Mars can be very impatient in Aries and Saturn is deeply unhappy there because everyone wants to crack on. They're all kids, they're not listening. I've got all the experience. So he's not a happy bunny there. But just know if something's not getting resolved quickly at the moment, that doesn't mean to say it won't before too long, particularly with Jupiter, the planet of optimism and positivity in the luckiest part of your chart. So, to summarize, as far as your relationships are concerned, if you are very close to someone and it is a bit bumpy, patience is really going to be important. If something is truly coming to the close, that escape hatch is coming soon and you will really benefit from it. Professionally, do be open to new beginnings. I really believe that. As far as relationships in terms of listening to your inner voice, the North Node retains its place in your seventh house through to the 26th of July, the true North Node. Be open to that. As far as your general good fortune, whatever friction happens now, do know you're heading in the right direction, Virgo. But I think as far as your vitality is concerned, Mars and Saturn together can have an impact. The sign of Aries can be about our identity. If it is, if something's going on at the moment which is quite wounding, do retain what qualities you have, even if someone else is trying to let you know that they don't feel you possess them. Keep believing in yourself. It's been a pleasure being with you, Virgo. I've been told I shouldn't really use the two words good and bye. So thank you so much and see you again.